Hey everybody, Bill in Virginia, and welcome back to another episode of Model Railroading Adventures with Bill. This week, I'm still doing some building work. I'm going to be painting up the HO scale roundhouse. Like I did with the Walthers freight house, I am not going to show everything in detail, just kind of skip through start, middle, finish. This one, I've already got the windows taped over. Just like with other buildings, I build it just to get it put in place. You know, if I could go back in time, I would not have added the glazing for the windows. I could have put the frames in, but just not the acetate. Would have been a lot easier. So anyway, same basic things. I'm going to use the sponge dab method using a variety of paints, reds, some browns, a little bit of white to kind of get the brickwork in. I will come back in and do a little bit of a different color on some of the brickwork, a little bit of concrete at the base. Not too much on the roundhouse, just, I'll be actually probably doing more weathering with chalks than painting for detail work. Roof, I'm going to be painting it. I am going to be adding some strips where I have roof seams. You can kind of see here where the seam is. I'm going to add a strip over each of those, and it's extremely thin piece. Be painted the same color as the roof when I'm done. But, on real roofs, many times you will see those little caps where different parts of the building come together to allow for expansion. So I'm going to add that detail on this roof before I paint it. Paint the doors, different things. This one should actually be fairly straightforward. It's got a lot of surface area, but it's not going to be substantially difficult to paint in detail. Once I get this done, not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll do the end scale roundhouse and get that done. But no matter what, on this video I will be doing, like last time, more running of trains on the layouts, having some fun with the creation. Probably also doing a little bit of work over here. I need to kind of get the road started so that I can get the rest of this laid out. So that might be something that I'm going to do on this video too. But anyway, we'll get the roundhouse a lot farther along, show you how that's going to look, and then we'll get into other mischief. The HO engine house is complete and now back in position on the layout. So a good dusting of chalks to weather the structure after the painting was done. Gives it a good, well-used appearance. The guys are still out playing checkers on the back side of the shop. Weathering is done out there as well. Roof, combination of chalks, paints, just to kind of give it, a used appearance as well as a little bit of rusting. Coming around on the front side, again, uses of chalks to make it look like we've got soot, where steam engines and diesels have come into the shop. So I'm happy with the result. I think it looks pretty good there. Takes away that plastic kit look. I'm glad that I took some time and been doing that to all the buildings that I can get access to anyway. Let's take a look at it on the other side real quick. So this side of the engine house, same thing, weathering with chalks, the details around the building, all kind of make it look like it's a well-used facility. So that looks good. I'm happy that I did that. Next thing I'm going to turn my attention to is this turntable. The turntable, I built when I started to put this layout together now about 4 years ago. I still have finish work to do on it. And again, it's like everything else, I've kind of put it in and then neglected coming back and finishing it. But I really do have to get in here and do some work on it. The glue that I originally used to hold the track down has let loose. You also notice the track is not painted. So this actually is a little bit fortuitous for me because I can come in and I can tape off the deck of the turntable platform and I can paint the track. Then I can come back in and I can do a little bit different shade along the sort of the running boards on either side of the track work. and then a little bit more detailing. There's some subtle weathering on the turntable itself already, but I'll do a little bit more. So I'll get that going here in just a little bit. So more to come. So in addition to the HO scale roundhouse paint and weather, as well as the HO scale turntable work, I am gonna paint and weather the N scale roundhouse. I've got it sitting over here, and I'm about ready to start doing the dab method on the brick walls, and then I'll do hand painting on the roof and different other details. I ended up adding stacks. If you remember earlier on, this model was sitting there, just holes in the roof for where ventilators were going to get put. And I ended up looking through my scrap box and found a number of these pieces left over from the RDA kits that I put together on the HO scale layout. Got looking at them, and it's like, yeah, you know what? Once they're painted up and weathered, they would look pretty good on an N scale building. Also added a few of these vents, stacks, also from RDA kits. So I am ready to paint. It's going to be similar to the HO scale one. Sort of a darker brick red for the body of this, engine flat black with chalk weathering for the roof, and then again some of the camo green for the doors on this one, as well as then some of the other side details. This building I was smart in that I did not put the glazing in, so I can easily go back in and paint up the window frames once I get the walls done, and then I can come back in and I can put glazing on the back side at that point. So I'm going to get this one fairly well done, and once I get the rest of the work done on the HO scale and I get this done, then I think I'm going to do some running in both scales at the engine house and the engine service areas, and that will wrap up this video once I get through that. So stay tuned, more to come. Well, the N scale roundhouse is all painted up. I think the colors look pretty good on it. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to give the building a shot of the Tamiya flat clear to kind of seal everything and give me a good surface to do chalk weathering. And I will cut out the acetate windows and get them glued in place. But the building overall doesn't look too bad. Yeah, some nice coloration on the brickwork, the vents after painting, that kind of makes them blend in. So I will weather everything, get it back on the layout, and then that part of the N scale layout will be done as well. So more to come. All right, a well-used N scale engine house ready to get put back onto the layout. Just finished up doing chalk weathering. I grimed it up appropriately to make it look like it had been there for a while. So I'm happy with how that turned out. So I can put this over onto the N scale one, and that area of the N scale layout is going to be done, pretty much. We're never done. But for major scenic details on that particular piece of the N scale layout, I've got that one wrapped up. So a little bit more to do here, and then I'm going to be running some engines. Have the N scale engine house back in position on the layout. And you know what? I'm not done over here. I've got pink foam board around that factory. I still got some detail work to do. But the engine house area is done. So take a look at it from this side. Lighting really is poor on this side. So let's go around on the other side and take a quick peek at it. So here's how it looks over on this side. A good, well-worn and dirty engine house up near the coaling tower. And boy, I need I need a lot of coffee. Oh, what looks like gravel up under the building is actually cork, so I still have scenery to do around that side of the engine house, as well as the pink foam board that is still showing around that particular factory. I will continue to work over on the HO scale, and then I will turn my attention to do this. Oh well, it is what it is. So work on the turntable is done. Went in, re-glued the track down, did my painting, did some weathering using some paints and chalks, and grimed up the tracks appropriately. So what I'm going to do now, and yes, it's a manual turntable, is I'm going to give it a break-in run. I put some No-Ox ID on it after I did some mineral spirits just to get the grime up off of the track. And now I'm going to run some trains on it, see how it works, and then I'm going to start actually doing some operations in and around the HO scale engine house, and then jump over to the N scale engine house and do some more operations over there.